It is officially fall here in Tokyo, and it's also been 1 whole year since we've been living here in Japan as well. And we are so thankful for the prayer and support that you all have poured out towards us and being engaged with us here. And God has been so good, even though it's been a lot of work with language. But we've been able to notice a lot of normalizing that's been going on this year for us. And so we're excited to share that with you. So we're going to start off with language learning.
Yeah, so September was our first full month of full-time language study in the form of lessons. So it took us a while to get used to a new normal pattern of life, but it seems to be working well for us. Still figuring a few things out, but we're getting things nailed down now, so that's been good. And we're starting to build pretty good relationships with our teachers, and just kind of getting comfortable with this new setting. Just a one-to-one, person-to-person conversation style of lesson it's very different than school, and so it took us a while to get used to, but we like it now. So.
Yeah. And along with that, we've been doing a handful of different church activities and activities with Japanese in general, because our learning program is designed to be doing personal tutoring as well as just being with Japanese. And so part of that looks like being Christians in the community here. So one of the big things that we do now every week is on Tuesday evenings, which you can always be praying for us on Tuesday evenings in Japan, that we're going to a small group, and that's hosted by one of the families of the church, and it's what you would imagine a normal small group is. It's getting together, fellowshipping, probably eating something, as well as going over what's going on in life at the church and what we're studying. Particularly, we go over what the last Sunday's sermon was about. So we're going to be doing that every Sunday, all in Japanese. It's going to give us a good opportunity to do more basic Japanese when talking about this Bible content and really hard Christian content. So along with that, it's just been really good to have that fellowship with them. As I'm going to tell you momentarily about my testimony experience, part of what they did was help me get through that testimony experience. They helped me get through the preparation of my testimony, making sure it sounded right and sounded normal, because I got to do that with my teacher, but she's not a Christian. So I just want to make sure all that stuff was good. So that was really helpful and really nice of them too. We had family camp weekend before last, and that was us and 40 other people from the church went away for a weekend to the Izu Peninsula, which is about a couple of hours away from Tokyo, and we had camp, church retreat. So it was a mix of messages and fellowship, game time, eating together. We went on a hike together. We came really close to eating wasabi ice cream, but we didn't. And yeah, it was just a really good time of fellowship. One of the big things for me was I really got to know people's names better, and that you would think a year into this we would have that figured out, but it's not so easy. So that was really special. We got to connect with people. The theme was God's family. So we were talking about what it looks like to be God's family, considering people who are Christians and they're not being treated like God's family. How do we work with that? How do we go towards that familial feeling? I got to share my testimony. I didn't find out until about a couple of days before sharing the testimony that I was going to be doing it next to a bonfire. So I got to share my testimony on Sunday night, and I shared my testimony, but it was nighttime next to this really hot bonfire that my left side was burning, my right side was nice and regular, and I had a hard time reading the testimony, all that stuff. But you'll see that shortly when we get that video up and translated and all that fun stuff. But that was really special. And then we just got a lot of opportunities to speak with our friends, make deeper connections with people, and speak with some people who didn't feel confident to talk to us because they didn't know where our Japanese was, and we're finally able to start making those connections. And then in general, it's just a good time for us to get out of Tokyo. Like we always say, you gotta get out of Tokyo at some point within like 6 months just to refresh. So we were really thankful for that, and thank you for helping us do that.
Yeah, so as Daniel mentioned, as a part of our learning style, a big push is for us to spend time with Japanese people. And so that's really pushed us to connect with and spend time with people that we've been wanting to get together with for the past year and just haven't made the effort yet. And so that's been really good. It's been allowing us to build closer friendships, more natural friendships. So that's been really good. And then the last event update thing from September is that we went to our first non-Christian and thus more culturally typical Japanese wedding. So that was our friends M-san and T-san, who we've talked about a lot in these videos. And we're so excited that they're married. We're so thankful for their friendship, and we're really excited for their future. And so it was also, for us, a really interesting cultural experience. We had heard a lot of things about this particular type of wedding, and so we had a lot of, like, those expectations were, they were true. And so we noticed a lot of those things, but then there were a lot of things that were really interesting that we hadn't heard about, and we don't know if it's typical, but or if it's just M-san and T-san's style. But there were some things that they did in their wedding and in their reception that were really cool, and we actually were like, wow, every Christian couple should do this at their wedding, even though they're not believers. So it was a really cool experience, and it was just a lot of fun for us.
Yeah. So we want to bring some prayer requests to you for October. So October for us is going to be like the first month in many months where we just don't have anything majorly planned. It's just going to be a normal month where we're going week to week, doing our study, and having Saturdays off and doing something on Sundays. So I'm sure that will get filled, but in the meantime, we don't have any big plans. And we just want to ask you all to be praying for us as we do that study. It's going to be a grind. It's been different. There are days where our brains are foggy and it's hard to do well. And there are other days where we're just killing it and it's great. So please be praying for us as we continue to progress in that, and pray for clear minds and energized brains. Also, if you would be praying for us as we continue to build relationships with Japanese, Christian, and otherwise. We have our neighbors over here, literally, who we've been telling you about. We've been gift giving back and forth as neighbors do every now and then. And so we're going to take it to the next level, and we're going to invite them to do something with us. We don't know what yet, probably a meal, but please be praying for that as we really, and that's kind of a big courageous step for us in going out there on our own. And then be praying for opportunities for us in sharing the gospel with our teachers. Both of our teachers, K-sensei and M-sensei, are not believers. One's a lot closer to being a believer than the other one. I've been able to have some spiritual conversation with M-sensei, but they've been exposed to the gospel tons and tons, and so we just pray that they make the decision to follow Christ, and that with the Japanese that we got right now, that we can actually make sense in sharing the gospel.
And then kind of transitioning into bigger picture things, not just us, we would ask you to pray for our organization. You might have read or seen something online or whatever about leadership transition in our organization. So we're really confident that God's in control. And while we're really sad to lose this leadership team that we really enjoyed, we really love and respect, we look forward to seeing how God's going to provide. So just pray for us and all of our coworkers, M's and field logistics personnel, everyone in our organization. Just pray that we would all be patient and hopeful in this season of transition, and just trusting God to provide exactly what our organization needs. Also, along the line of coworkers, we have coworkers in a country that recently the persecution of Christians has been stepped up a lot in the past few months. So we just ask that you would pray for perseverance and courage and wisdom for our brothers and sisters in that country who are in danger because of their faith. So that's EMS, that's also national partners who are in a lot more danger than the foreigners who our organization has sent there. So just pray for all of those people in that situation. And then lastly, we ask that you would pray for Japan. This year has been really rough in terms of natural disasters for Japan. There's been a lot of major earthquakes. There's been a lot of typhoons and flooding and landslides as a result of the flooding and the earthquakes, and so it's just been a lot more than they were ready to handle in a single year. And so just pray for the recovery efforts for the Japanese, and then also pray for all of the Christians who are volunteering in those areas for recovery efforts. There's lots of organizations who are volunteering in those areas. So pray that they would be faithful to seize opportunities for the gospel as they serve, and just pray that Christ's love would be shown to the people who are suffering in those areas, because there are still people who are displaced from floods and earthquakes and things like that. So we just ask that you would pray for the Japanese people in the midst of all of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sticking around with us for this September update. And again, I just want to remind you, if you would, please subscribe. You'll see here the current number where we're at right now. It's jumped up from the last time we did an update, and I'm so thankful. We're getting so close to that 100 that we're looking for. So by clicking subscribe and helping us get to that 100, it opens up a new web address functionality. It makes just a simple web address available to us, as well as opens up some new features for us that allows us to increase the quality of our content, the variety of our content, and just make more and do better with our videos. So along with that, if you click the subscribe button, you'll get our videos in your feed. But if you click the bell button, the bell icon, that's actually going to alert you anytime we upload a video. So that could be the very next video, which is going to be the testimony video from the camp that we're going to upload sometime this month whenever we can get around to it. But I'm going to try and get it out as soon as we can. So if you click that bell icon, you'll get alerted. So thank you again so much for being with us on this journey. 1 year's been great, and we are so thankful for what God's going to do this upcoming year. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.